Good evening. I'm Chris Coursey. Come along as I sit down with artists, filmmakers, musicians, and creative people who help shape our community. From emerging artists to established entertainers, we'll explore the journey behind the art and the inspiration behind the work. Each conversation is a little more than an interview, it's a celebration of culture, creativity, and the power of local talent. Thank you for joining me as we spotlight the voices of Tahlequah and beyond. Good evening. On this episode, I have Larry Huitt. He's a local musician and actor from Tahlequah area. Thank you for joining me today.
Thanks so much for having me, Chris.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got the name Scary Larry?
I go by Scary Larry Huitt. Like you said, I'm a musician and actor here from Oklahoma, a true Okie from Muskogee. I got my nickname in kindergarten. When the other kids were talking about Batman and Superman, I was talking about Boris Karloff and Bela Lugosi and these Universal horror movies, from the 1930s and 40s. And that being, it comes from my grandpa. There used to be a late night horror show out of Tulsa called Plenty Scary Movies that came on like every Friday night. And my grandpa would let me stay up with him, and we would watch these old black and white horror movies like Dracula and Frankenstein meets the Wolfman and The Mummy and stuff. And I just fell in love with that era of movies, and eventually fell in love with Michael Myers and Jason and Freddy, the ones that were our generation of the classic monsters. And it just stuck, and I'm so blessed today that I get to play guitars and make horror movies.
That's pretty cool.
And a lifelong dream of what I wanted to do ever since I was a little kid.
Yeah. You said you've literally been playing music since you were 4 years old.
Yes. I begged everyone, my parents, both sets of my grandparents, I begged them all for a guitar for several years, and finally when I was like 7, my grandma and grandpa was like, okay, and they bought me this cute little Sears acoustic guitar, because I kept asking for every birthday, every Christmas, what do you want? I want a guitar. And so I beat on that thing for about 3 years until I was 10, and then I think my mom found me this guitar it's an electric guitar at a yard sale or something, and she brought it home to me, and within like a month or two I started my first band, and we're all a bunch of little 10-year-olds beating on our guitars, man. I've been beating on them ever since.
Yeah. Inspired by Buddy Holly.
Absolutely. My folks said that when I was like 2 or 3 years old, I could hear a Buddy Holly or an Elvis or Beatles song, and I would just instantly know all the words to it, and I would be singing it, And Buddy was just one of my big heroes growing up. A few years ago, I got to go to Clear Lake, Iowa, and see where his plane crashed and stuff. And it's kind of a mecca, like a musical mecca,
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And then later you got influenced by Led Zeppelin, you said.
Yeah, they were the one that changed my life, modern kids, I have a little 5-year-old, I've got 4 awesome kids, but my youngest is a little 5-year-old Zen, and he can do whatever he wants on my iPhone. He can go to movies, he can go to YouTube and stuff, and a lot of little kids are like that, and I was that way with record players and cassette players and stuff. When I was 3, 4, 5 years old, I could hook up a record player and set it all up and everything. And hey, by the time I was 7 or 8, people were bringing their car stereos over for me to install in their vehicles, because they got really good at it.
Yeah.
But my mom and dad, they saw how much I love music, and they both give me their album collections, And I would go through every day. I would sit there and I would put an album on. I would listen to it and see if I liked it. And if I did, I put it in the like pile. If I didn't, I'd put it over in the pile I don't want to listen to. And I remember the day. It's so clear. because it literally changed my whole life. There was this gray album with this old man on the front with a bunch of sticks on his back, and it didn't have a name anywhere on the album. It didn't say who it was. And so I just pulled the album out and stuck it on, and it turned out to be Led Zeppelin 4. And the music was just like nothing I'd ever heard, and I just fell in love from that moment on. Literally, they have been my favorite band, and still to this day they are.
That's great. Led Zeppelin's inspiring. They're just an artistic band all around, from the music to the lyrics to the performance. But you play all kinds of stuff. Like, you play by yourself music, and then you also play with your band Psychoderelics.
Yeah.
But there are quite a bit of differences.
They are completely different monsters. I always joke that it allows me to get out some of my multiple personalities, because the Psychoderelics is a completely electric, raw jam band, and my Scary Larry stuff is more singer-songwriter, acoustic, red dirt. And we still have a lot of picking in the Scary Larry stuff too, but it's all like acoustic style picking with flat tops and mandolins and stuff like that. And they're both, I love them both equally. They're just like two different complete monsters.
Yeah, and besides just playing music, you're also involved in the music community. You're involved with the Oklahoma Music Hall of Fame, and then you also put on some open mic nights both here in Tahlequah and Muskogee, right?
Yeah, we have a blast. I do a Tuesday open mic at Kroner and Bear here in Tahlequah, and we always have so many great musicians. And we were talking earlier that it literally goes from people performing for the first time to people that are hugely famous, touring all over the U.S. and the world for that matter. And we get such a great mix, and there's so many talented folks. And every Tuesday we have a blast, and then every Wednesday it's the same in Muskogee. So many great musicians, and we do it at Max's Garage every Wednesday. And Muskogee is more of an electric kind of setting, because we have a full back line with a full drum set, bass, lap steel, electric guitar, acoustic guitars. And Tahlequah is more of an acoustic kind of setting, where we play a lot more acoustics and mandolins and stuff. But,
that's pretty cool.
Super fun, yeah. I also do second Thursday of the month down at Aiken's Barbecue Feed and More down at north of Salisaw, and it's always a great time.
Cool. Yeah, I got to see you a couple of weeks ago. I went out to the open mic night at Kroner and Bear, and man, the musician roster was full, and man, everybody was awesome that played that night. There's so many talented people in this community, and it's really good to see.
Thanks, man. We're very blessed around, and yeah, my open mics a lot of times in Tahlequah on Tuesdays at Kroner, we'll have so many musicians that everybody won't even get to play.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard you like 3 songs and go.
Yes. Yeah, you have to
move along.
You have to cut it, because when you have so many musicians, you gotta keep it moving.
There was that many people there waiting to play, and like I said, they were all talented.
Yeah.
From that one kid that was like his second time there, to some of y'all that's been doing it all your life and helping them out. It's pretty cool.
I love doing the open mics, because you get to hang out and play guitars with your friends. It doesn't get much better than that. But also it gives people a platform. A lot of guys from my open mics have gone on to become full-time musicians. Playing everywhere. Playing all over, and it's a good place to get started and to get comfortable on stage. Because you don't just walk out on stage and play music, for 2 hours. That it's something like you build up to, like anything. The same way with movies, I know one day you said, "Hey, I'm going to make a movie," and it's hard to just, okay, what do I do now? Let's figure all the stuff I need to do to make a movie.
Yeah.
And music's the same way, but a platform like that gives people a chance to get out and kind of see what it's about and see if it's something you really want to do, because it's a labor of love. I find that in movies, as same with music, is most of us don't get rich making movies and playing music,
That's for sure.
but I get to stay busy, and I know you stay busy. And we got to do a movie. I got to be in one of your movies last year and stuff. That was super fun. Primary Contact. So
Yeah.
make sure you go check that out.
Yeah, that was cool, and you're going to be in one of my sci-fi films again that we're in pre-production for. That's going to be interesting.
That's exciting. But
You've been a part of like a series, or it was a film that's becoming a series, right?
yes,
It would start off as Crawl or Die
yeah,
feature film, and then the sequel has now become a series by what's the company's name again?
the series will be
Called
Try Hard Company.
Try Hard. Okay.
Yeah, and it's done by Oklahoma Ward, this awesome director, and it stars Nicole Alonso, and then a bunch of us, and it was super fun. It was, again, a labor of love. We all worked really hard. We filmed for about 2.5 years, and then it's been in post-production for almost 3 years now, and we're hoping that it'll have a fall or wintertime release this year. And it's projects, I love working on projects, and it did. Crawl or Die was my first, I call it my big break, the first real film I got to be in, and it came out in 2014, and it was really awesome because we got like so many copies in every Walmart in the world, or they did. I was just an actor in it, but then it did a second round of distribution, and it went like 5 copies in every Dollar General. I still get friends and family like, hey, look what I found at the Dollar General, and you got this movie that I was in, 12 years ago now.
That's cool.
And when it came out, it was awesome because everybody was hitting me up on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and stuff, like with a picture of them with the movie
Yeah.
that I was in. And I've been in several since, but that one's always like super special because it was the one that just,
Yeah.
everybody has a first thing,
Yeah.
everybody has a first one.
Give you the bug.
They did.
Got your love of it going. Is it just Connor and Barry you played? Have you played at Squeeze In? Where all have
Yes,
you played
I
in
love
town?
everywhere in town.
Okay.
There's not a place I haven't played in Tahlequah. I stay pretty busy. You can follow my pages, my social media, Scary Larry Huitt Music, and I always have a calendar on there and always upcoming shows. And Tahlequah is a very fun place. We have so many cool places to play in Tahlequah. Cronenberg is always fun. The Squeeze In's a super cool one. Dwayne's. You've got different grills and stuff that have music. You can almost find live music, 6 or 7 days a week in Tahlequah.
They put on music every week there at Connor and Bear.
Yes, yeah, every weekend, every Friday and Saturday, they've got live bands and artists. And we also do, I do a thing a couple of times a month with Lakes Country 102.1 out of Tahlequah here. We do special guest artists, and it's usually somebody that has a chart-topping song on Texas radio and stuff. There's a lot of Red Dirt people that come through when they're on their radio tour, and they'll come by and play like at 5:30 on my open mic, which starts at 7. But they'll play for an hour and hang out and stuff. And so I've got to meet a lot of great musicians that Lightning Lou Kelly has brought me, and Now Brendan Barlow, a good friend that comes out and plays too. He's a DJ at Blake's Country now, and so we're partnering together to bring more artists through town and stuff.
And so, like, tell me a little bit more about the Oklahoma Music Hall of Fame.
I love the Oklahoma Music Hall of Fame. It's actually my favorite place to play. It's a cool old train depot in Muskogee, and it's some great concerts have gone on there. And they've just recently done like a several $1 million renovation of it. They got a grant, and so it's fixing to open back up. They've been doing their shows at the Civic Center, but it's fixing to open back up to the public. And the museum is renovated. It's going to be super cool. And so you can pop onto their social media as well, Oklahoma Music Hall of Fame, and find all their upcoming shows and stuff. And it's a super cool place in Muskogee. It's keeping music alive,
Awesome. That's good. And you're also recording your first solo CD?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I'm super excited about it. I've got a lot of guest musician friends that are coming along to play with me. And it's just a series of songs. I've written a ton of songs over the years. And at all my shows, my open mics, people are always requesting certain songs. And so I'm taking like the...
fan favorites.
Yes. I'm taking like the 13 most requested. So I've been playing so long, it seems more like a greatest hits album than an actual first solo album. But
well, that's cool that you're putting it together, and it's mainly acoustic, right? You said there might be some mandolins and things.
Oh yeah, kind of mandolin, banjo, some slap bass.
And that's gonna be released on all platforms.
Yeah,
you said?
All streaming platforms.
Okay, it's Scary Larry Music.
Yep, Scary Larry Huitt.
Scary Larry Huitt Music on all platforms. Okay. Who are you besides all that? You're a dad, right?
I'm a dad first and foremost.
Okay.
I love playing music, and I love making horror movies and going to conventions and stuff. But I love being a dad more than anything ever in my entire life. I'm very blessed. I've got 4 beautiful, awesome humans that call me dad. And my oldest son, Robbie, is turning 30 this year. My daughter, Riley, is turning 25. And my middle son, Eli, is fixing to be 14 in July. And my baby son, Zen, is going to be 6 on April 22nd on Earth Day.
Well, that's pretty cool.
And my little guy, he's really saved my life, man. He really has. I've been getting healthy for the last couple of years, and I was like officially 85 pounds down over the last 2 years. And
that's good.
My little guy's in. He gets up and sings with me at some of my shows and my open mics.
Cool.
And stuff. And yeah, most places I play are family friendly, and my open mics are always family friendly. And my kids have just grown up around music and going to festivals and stuff because that's what we do, So Zen, he's just grown up on the stage, ever since he could crawl. And it's so funny because he knows how to be on stage. He never trips on a wire. He never knocks the guitar over or anything. He's very
careful.
Yes, and it's all because he's just done it his whole life. But now he's actually singing with me on stage, and that's super fun.
Who all is in psychoderelicts with you?
Well, Psycho's my oldest friend in the world, Jason Legg. We started kindergarten together, and his mom was our 5th grade teacher, and our family's actually been friends for like 4 generations. Our grandparents were friends even before our parents were born, so it's pretty wild. But yeah, the Psychos were an electric jam band, and we don't really play many bars or clubs. We're mostly a festival band, and Jason, of course, is a lap steel player. I've got my good friend Corey Martin plays drums for us. My bass player is an awesome young guy named Micah Rodriguez, who graduated from the jazz program at NSU, and my drummer Corey also graduated from there several years ago. I also got an awesome local musician, Lyle Dieter, plays mandolin and harmonica. And I've got a guy out of Tulsa that's an awesome sax player named Horace Young. And then a local favorite, Miss Sarah Thompson, plays the flute. And we all just love to jam. Every one of the bands are very accomplished instrumentalists. And so we like to rip it up, you know, and play off each other. And there's so many good musicians like that. Like one of my favorites is Johnny Mullinex's band out of Tulsa. They're all just amazing musicians, and just here I've got the incomparable Thomas Trapp playing acoustic guitar for him, doing flat picking, and Johnny playing electric guitar, and their whole band is just amazing. But that's like what we like to do, you know. Maybe not that level, you know, but we love to. We're like a total jam band. I heard a good deal about the Allman Brothers and the Grateful Dead the other day, and it was Warren Haynes talking about it, and he said that Dickie Betts told him one time that the difference between the Grateful Dead and the Allman Brothers was the Grateful Dead, they played all the time, and they were always searching for that magic, you know, and so you would hear people like, hey man, number 3 show was crazy, you know. And even the Grateful Dead themselves are like, hey, we're going to release show 17 because that was the night, you know? Yeah. And Dickie Betts said that was the difference between the Allman Brothers and the Grateful Dead, is that they were always searching for that night. And the Allman Brothers forced themselves to do that every night. And so I thought that's pretty crazy, because the Allman Brothers are one of the greatest, you know, musical bands.
Everybody likes them.
Yeah.
So you got a festival coming up that you guys are going to play, you said, I think?
Yes, it's the start of the season, really. It's called Earth Note, and it's a super fun festival held out at Sparrowhawk. I think this is our 8th year of doing Earth Note, and it was started because in September we do one called Blue Note, and this year will be like the 39th year for Blue Note. But a lot of the folks and musicians and friends, we only see each other once a year in September, you know, at this festival. And so we're like, hey, let's do one earlier in the year so we could, you know, hang out twice.
Yeah.
And so we started Earth Note about 7 or 8 years ago. And it kind of starts the festival season. And Blue Note and the Illinois River Jam in the festival season in
That's pretty
late
cool.
September, early October, yeah.
That's Sparrowhawk.
Yeah.
I don't know, is there anything else that you might want to share with people or talk about?
Just follow me on social media. Find out what's going on. Come to a show. Come have a good time. Come introduce yourself. Come say hi. You know, I love people, and I love hanging out, and playing guitars, making movies with my friends, man.
That's cool, man. I love to hear you play, and I love to see people that are creative in the film industry as well, and look forward to working with you again on one of my short films. And
Definitely.
I appreciate you coming and sitting down and talking with me today.
All my pleasure, Chris.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks a lot.
I appreciate it.
Hey, you guys have a great one.